I made a sling to carry him on my back. It's by no means perfect, but it wasn't really meant to be seen. I'll give you like a little 360 here. I started by crocheting in the round. I made it big enough to fit over his body, and then you just crochet single crochet rows up until however long you want it. If I were to remake this, I probably would have went like a row or two higher. You do want to remember to add holes for the legs, and to do that you make chains where you want the holes, and in the round after that you'll just crochet into the chain, and that will just make a hole in the round, and that way you can stick the legs through. For me to get his big feet through the holes, I kind of had to like smush them like that. After I made the little diaper portion, I started crocheting in rows on the back. I made the width of it however long his back was, and I just decreased like maybe like 2 rounds to make it a tiny bit shorter up here. When I made it to the end of the last row, I just made a chain that would fit around his arm and attach to the side of the diaper piece. I'm just gonna call it a diaper because that's what it looks like. And then I just made a slip stitch and fastened off at the bottom. Then I went ahead and attached another strand of yarn to the other end of the back rows and chained to make the other arm strap. Then this part probably wasn't super necessary, but I wanted to make sure his arms were really locked in. I added another yarn strand and chained and single crocheted underneath of his arm, and I did that for both sides. The neck piece is super important. I don't remember exactly how I did this part because it was an afterthought, because he was very tilted on my back and wasn't sitting up straight. So I kind of had to strap his head upwards, and I did that by connecting this yarn strand to the shoulder strap. And of course you also have to chain your like backpack straps. I remember I did 80 chains, but this can be easily modified to how like low or high you want it on your back. My backpack chains I attached to the shoulder strands. I chained 80 and I slip stitched it onto the back, this back row. I did the same exact thing for the other strand. And you'll just put these straps over your shoulders, but of course the other way for him to be on your back. And he will sit up straight just like this. And if you're gonna make something like this, make sure like the arm strap, the backpack strap, and this neck strap are all connected kind of like at the corner here. Because he's being carried by these strings, right? So you want his neck to be pulled upwards by these strings. The neck piece being connected to these strings is very important so that he sits up straight. Otherwise, he'll just be like hanging off your back. He needs to be kind of propped up by his neck, if that makes sense. And to make that possible, I just have everything kind of connected right above the shoulder piece. Keep in mind, the way I made this wasn't necessarily to like preserve it and reuse it. Like I'm just gonna cut this off and like not really use it again, to be honest. So keep in mind the way that I did this is unfortunately like a one-time use thing. I'm sure someone out there could play around with something like this and make it so that it could be removable and like reused. But I hope this helped kind of explain the process, and I hope this inspired you to make something a little bit similar so that one of these days you can carry your plushies on your back.